Let's take a look at more amazing legendary weapons that you totally want to get in Borderlands 3, and I use them on Mayamo 3 and they are really strong. Some of them are even made stronger after the recent hotfix. So let's get into it. It would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it really helps the channel out, and let's go. Let's start with a beast torque shotgun called the Flack ER. Torque of course means explosives and this shotgun is no different. Every shot creates these multiple explosions and when you hit them on the right spots they can really melt the health of the enemies. You need to figure out the range though for this gun before you can fully utilize its power. And really the best way to figure that out is just to use it. We got a crosshair that turns red if you are going to hit the target, but it only helps to indicate if you are close enough. What can namely happen is that if you stand too close, the explosions will appear behind the enemy instead. So you really have to find a good distance between you and the target, and if you master this, then the damage can really be insane. Shields are no issue for this weapon, and the regular health bar goes insanely fast too. It's great versus regular enemies, but against the bosses this can help a lot as well. I even got this insane anointed version that deals 125% more weapon damage to badass named and boss enemies for a short time after a skill has ended. So I already do a ton of damage with this weapon and the fade away skill from Flack, but now after that one has ended, I also have increased damage to high health enemies. It's really powerful. Also like the fact that you can shoot the gun multiple times before you have to reload. So I'm using this Flack ER with Flack, but imagine this with a most explosive build. That is really something I want to try out. So it's a world drop, you can get it from the different bosses in the game, but there's no specific enemy that has it. And as you might know, this is the case for most of the guns in the game. Just like this Nighthawk that I really like a lot. It always has cryo damage on the weapon, but there's more going on, I will touch on that in a second. It's a dull SMG that I got with extra fire rate and reload speed. And that's great because overall dull weapons are very nice to use, like your regular first person shooter guns. Well, this has a very special effect as well. Again, it notes the cryo damage on the weapon and you do shoot that during the day. But when it's night inside the game, you actually shoot incendiary damage instead. You still see the cryo effect, but the enemies will catch fire now, and that's of course great against humanoid enemies that are weak against fire. You could argue that it's hard to rely on this weapon for that reason, as you don't really have a say over the time of day, but I think that this weapon is actually really strong no matter what, as you're always surprised by the damage that it does, and again, because it's a dull weapon, it's really nice to use. Not really nice against the shields or armor, but really the moment you see the red health bar of the enemy, the gun will totally do its job. Again, this is a world drop, so hopefully you get it one day. The Storm Sniper can also drop from many bosses. It is a sniper rifle where hitting a headshot or even the target is not needed. Because when you shoot the gun, it will spawn these orbs in the sky that will damage nearby enemies. And yes, it's called the Storm, so it's shock damage, so it's really nice to take out the shields of the enemies, but it can also be pretty effective against other health bars. The really nice part about this weapon is that it just happens over time. Sure, it helps to hit the target for extra damage, but what you can basically do is just hold the charge button of the weapon, aim near a target, and then the orbs will do the job for you. You can then maybe switch to an incendiary weapon, so the orbs take out the shields, and then you take out the health bar of the enemy with your fire damage. The Storm was already pretty strong, but it's even stronger now after the insane buff for Molly-1 weapons with the recent hotfix, increasing the damage by 38%. And just the overall fire rate of sniper rifles was also increased. So you can really just zap, have these orbs appear, zap again, and have a ton of orbs that deal damage to the targets. I don't really use snipers that often, but I really love this one. And another one. You likely know this one, right? The Lyuda. It's a guaranteed get after killing all the 10 targets of opportunity from 0. I will leave a link to a nice article from PowerPix with all the locations, so you can easily track them down if you haven't killed them all yet. And after you then kill the final target, you will have this weapon in your in-game meal in the social menu. So you get a random one from 0 with random stats and a random element, so you gotta be lucky with that. Not everyone gets the same weapon. weapon. I actually got the shock variant that I use right now from a world drop, and I think I like this one the most. It's obviously amazing against shields, but overall the Lyuda is just great because it basically functions as a powerful assault rifle but uses sniper ammo. So you can totally rock it with another assault rifle and not have one weapon eat the ammo of the other. You mostly use it to deal a lot of damage to one target extremely fast, but the big downside of this weapon is the reload. That occurs very often and can take a pretty long time. So after the sniper buff from the recent hotfix, this Lyuda actually shoots faster than before, so that is great. But the downside is that you now have to reload even sooner than before. Still a great weapon to use as a sniper, especially with the Flack and the fade away combo. You can really do some serious damage in a short period of time. Now on to another legendary weapon that was also significantly buffed with the new hotfix. It was already strong before that. The Gutsman gun. That is also a world drop and obtainable in 3 elements: shock, corrosive, and I got the incendiary variant. And whoa, this weapon can be a true powerhouse when the 2 bullets that you shoot hit the target. And when you shoot them, they both go in a different direction, but have this line that holds them together, increasing the range the further the enemy is, although you want to use it at close range too, to have both the bullets hit the enemy. A fun fact is that the bullets go through the physical shields from the enemies, so they can be holding that shield, but you can just keep shooting and still do damage. Because I got the fire variant, it can be hard to melt the enemies that have a blue bar first, but really the moment they lose their shields, this gun will do the rest. The Stormfront is really one of my favorite grenades in the game. It's kind of comparable to the Storm Sniper because it also deals a lot of shock damage to the enemies, only this one can get crazy real fast. Every grenade you throw namely multiplies and then the lightning appears, so throwing multiple grenades that then all multiply creates this amazing lightning show. Totally smart to use these grenades when approaching new enemies that still have their shields, so this grenade will make sure they lose them, and then you can use another weapon to take out their regular health. Kind of the same tactic as with the Storm. I just got the regular version of the Stormfront grenades, but not sure if there are any enhanced variants as well that make this effect even stronger. Got a powerful Stormfront grenade? Then totally let me know in the comments down below. And this Stormfront is, by the way, a world drop, just like the next weapon, the Alchemist, that I first did not really like, but then I got an enhanced version of this Stork assault rifle with increased projectile speed. So the thing with this weapon is that you basically always have sticky ammo, so you want to hit the enemy with it as fast as possible, and the extra projectile speed makes that so much easier. So you can really put a ton of these bullets onto the target before you let it detonate. And you detonate by reloading the gun as expected, but there's one key difference. The sticky ammo you shoot is namely shock damage, while the explosions that happen after you detonate are incendiary damage. So you nuke the shield first and then you detonate to melt the regular health bar. Sadly, the regular sticky ammo is not that strong, so you can't really take out a shield with it, although with the Flack's fade away ability you do enhance the damage. And smart, by the way, with this ability is to also let the bullets explode when you still have this skill active, so all those explosions are crits. So yeah, overall it's a very fun gun to use and very strong as well, especially against enemies that do not have any shields. Subscribe for everything Borderlands free if you haven't already. I'll keep you up to date on all the updates and the DLC that will be coming to the game, and do more guides, tips and tricks, just like my previous video about a new legendary farm tactic that also gives a ton of XP and iridium. You can watch that video by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it after we open a golden chest, as we always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. Of course, don't forget to like the video, it really helps the channel out. Now let's open a golden chest. Hey Dennis, you're not the only one who can do it.
Who can do what? Oh, you're fast now too. We should do a race someday.
Yeah. But for now though,
things first.
yeah, go open it.
Let's see if we can get a legendary.
Ah,
sad. That's a lot of stuff though.
Yeah,
that's 8 things in the chest, but I don't think I'm gonna use any of them.
Okay, let's do a short race then.
Good.
Get to the fast travel point.
Right. On your mark.
Okay. Where are you? Oh, you're standing.
You.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. What? What are
Oh,
you?
you were way faster. I don't know what happened.
Maybe I have extra
I
sprint
crashed.
speed. Maybe I have an even hard. I've
No.
102%. I think you have less, right? Or do you also have 102%?
Mine says no 93, so you would have won anyway.
Yeah, and I have the extra movement speed from being full health. Makes sense.
So congratulations. Yay, you won.
Subscribe for way more Borderlands 3 coverage. Again, click the screen to watch that video on the legendary Iridium gear and also XP farm tactic. For now though, we will speak to you next time and goodbye.